Apparently, Midnight Judge here. They got this video talking about George Lucas and Disney. Now, this is apparently a story that's talking that came out of a live stream with Nerdrotic and a lot of people. They were talking about how this new piece of information that Nerdrotic got about the licensing deals or the merchandise cut that George Lucas has with Disney is definitely going to be a big issue going forward, right? And so a lot of what it boils down to here is the fact that Lucas, according to this, and this is all grain of salt rumor situation, right? So this whole thing apparently is that in the deal that Lucas signed with Disney back in 2012 for $4.05 billion in order to sell Lucasfilm. And it's not just Lucasfilm. You have to remember, it's not just Lucasfilm. It was Lucasfilm, Skywalker Sound, LucasArts, Industrial Light and Magic, and everything that came with it for this $4 billion price tag. Bob Iger effectively got a lot of things out of this purchase, more than Marvel. Even though Marvel has made all this money, they use Skywalker Sound and Industrial Lights and Magic in order to make it work. So it's interesting when you want to look at this overall story about how Disney is purposefully kneecapping the original trilogy with Galaxy's Edge as a way to basically get around paying George Lucas royalties. Now, the story always goes that 20th Century Fox back in 1977 had absolutely zero faith in Lucas and Star Wars, so they gave him the toy rights. They gave him the toy rights and merchandising rights, and as a result of that, he has made, I don't know, billions of dollars for the most part. And when he sold it all to Disney, apparently he still had a bit of that. He still had a cut of that. And they're paying him for everything that they sell that's OG trilogy wise and probably prequel trilogy. And that is, if anyone actually buys any merch from the prequel trilogy. Does anyone here have a Jar Jar plushie? You know, I was just at Galaxy's Edge. I didn't see no Jar Jar, nothing. I saw no Gungan, nothing. Nobody wants no Gungans. But it would make sense in this particular situation that Lucas would in fact work a deal in order to get the merch, to get a cut of the merch, knowing that that is what made him a lot of money down the road. Or not down the road, it made him a lot of money back in the day. Right? So if this is real, this would effectively put out there that Bob Iger, the Lucasfilm Story Group, Kathleen Kennedy, anyone involved in Galaxy's Edge, effectively is using it as a way to get around paying him the cut for merch, which is really dumb in my opinion. Because when I was there and I saw the merch, they've done a lot of dumb things with it. Like for one, you go into the little shopping mall area and you can buy like a Watto toy, like a little Watto plushie, like a Jabba plushie, like you can buy some of those old OG trilogy stuff, right? And prequel trilogy stuff. And I don't know if he's going to get a cut of any of that. It's like $28 for the little doll, the little sewn plushy doll thing. I was going to buy one for my kid, but it was just like, I'm like, no, that's way too expensive. And if he gets a cut of that, that would make, that would make sense why it's so limited in what's there. A lot of what they're selling at Galaxy's Edge is merchandise around Galaxy's Edge, right? You can go into a little shop and like buy the First Order propaganda postcards, right? Or Galaxy's Edge, little mugs and magnets and calendars, right? That make sure that the Millennium Falcon is front and center, that it's Galaxy's Edge, it's Black Spire Outpost. Not a lot there with the OG trilogy or even with the prequel trilogy outside of Watto. So if they're trying to cut out the OG trilogy, that would actually be a very solid explanation as to why. Because no one can really figure out exactly why Lucas, not even Lucas, like Iger and those Lucasfilm people, why they're not relying more heavily on the original trilogy, because that's what people want. While the First Order is cool, doesn't really make a lot of sense because we don't have the history to back up why it doesn't make, where it fits in this timeline. We don't necessarily have that history. If we did have that history, things would be a lot more different. They'd be a lot more interesting. Unfortunately, it's just not there yet. Unfortunately, they haven't given it to us. And if it is because of this 25% cut or roughly whatever merch cut they have to give to Lucas, you figure in the long run, it would be worth it because there's no denying that it's not selling toys. I mean, if you go back to what was like the I forget the name of the big Star Wars toy reveal from 2015 before The Force Awakens. And there were so many toys being purchased, so much merch being moved. I mean, I remember in 2015 and 2016, I bought a lot of Star Wars shirts because they were everywhere. JCPenney, Sears, Macy's, you name it, Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars. And I felt good again. I felt like a Star Wars fan again. Like, all right, I'm buying some shirts. You know, I mean, I've got a Star Wars wallet that I bought in 2014. I still have today. It's been almost 5 years, I think 5 years next month, had this wallet. I want to replace it, but I can't find anything like it that I like. So I keep it because I'm, nostalgic like that. There was so much merch that was moving back in the day. It's not moving anymore. I went to Toys R Us, a couple of them before they closed, and you would find the Force Awakens merchandise from 2015 in 2018. Stuff still on the shelves. You go to Target, you go to Walmart, you're finding a lot of Star Wars toys. Kids aren't buying it. And that's one of the reasons why Galaxy's Edge is as what it is. One of the reasons why Galaxy's Edge is a mall. And I'm not even kidding you. There are like 8 shops in this land. Because it is appealing to the people like me who grew up, who love the nostalgia, and are just happy to be a part of it. And I will say that Black Spire Outpost feels like you are in a Star Wars movie. It feels like you're in Star Wars. They did a good job of making you feel like you're there. And then much like Watto, they want to sell you something. But it's not meant for kids because kids aren't buying it. And neither are the adults. And if it's all about paying George Lucas the money, and they don't want to do it because they forked out so many $1 billion per land per park, and everything else going on with it, it's in their best interest to just pay him the damn cash, bring out the OG merch, and pray to God you don't run this entire freaking property into the damn ground. Because you guys know it, and I know it. It's one bad movie away from, instead of being the most popular thing on the planet, to being last week's, oh yeah, Star Wars was good. Remember that? I wonder when they're going to make Star Wars great again. A lot of people are already there. And the failings and shortcomings of Galaxy's Edge, because they don't honor the original trilogy that people grew up on, is what is going to ultimately cost them everything. Iger is out in 2 years. And if he doesn't fix this, with any luck, the next person will. Because love George Lucas or hate George Lucas, he created something a lot of people love. And when you spend $4 billion for what people love, and you stop producing it, you're just wasted a bunch of cash. But at the same time, like I said before, Lucasfilm was not just Star Wars. You have Industrial Light and Magic, and you have Skywalker Sound. And considering the fact that Disney now can basically write all of the expenses off for their productions because they can build it all in-house, and it's all using company assets, maybe they do want to kill Star Wars. Maybe they do want to, in the end, run it into the ground so they have a reason to stop working on it and then just profit greatly off of the 2 other aspects, the 2 other things, the industry revolutionary vision, Industrial Light and Sound, and Skywalker Sound, or Industrial Light and Magic and Skywalker Sound have done. And it's, I mean, I'm probably wrong. They don't really want to run it into the ground, but it's almost like The Producers, the movie The Producers. You have a bad idea. You put it out there and you hope to God that it fails, because if it fails, then nobody asks questions. Except this is Star Wars, where for so many people, Star Wars is too big to fail. So if it actually is failing, which to some people's eyes it is, it's a big red flag for how things are being done post October 2012 when Lucas sold to Bob Iger.